You're listening to Parents You've Got This, the expert guide to parenthood, the complete guide to fertility, pregnancy, birth, baby and parenthood. This podcast is proudly supported by Mistela, a natural origin skincare for babies and children, recommended by healthcare professionals. Mistela by Parents' Side since 1950.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Expert Guide to Parenthood podcast. We are your hosts, Christy Hopwood
and Freya Owen.
And we love talking all things parenthood. Today we're going to be talking about harnessing your hormones and what that means for pregnancy, birth, baby and the postpartum period.
We have our wonderful midwife and positive birth, Lamaze birth expert, Narelle Tsiros, back in the podcast chair. Now, Narelle is many things and she's the absolute lover of all things hormones, and her enthusiasm is going to rub off on everybody today, and we're all going to understand exactly why and how hormones are so important. So, Relzy, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing your sunshine and your warmth and your expertise with everybody in everything you do. We are so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
So you love hormones. I mean, we're dressed for the occasion today, aren't we?
Yes,
I
love
that. And yeah, why do you love hormones so much?
Well, as a midwife, I am so in love with women labouring in a safe, warm, undisturbed, private place. They get on with it really well, and they just are able, when they listen to their birthing instincts and their own natural knowledge of themselves and actually connecting with their baby, the hormone or the labour dance of love and connection is off and running. And I love it. I think I'm addicted to it.
So let's talk a little bit more about those hormones. How do hormones play a role in our birthing environment, and is there anything parents can do to harness these?
Well, it's interesting. There is still a bit of a mystery around how the hormones actually work and start labour. However, what we do know is that as women, pregnant women, we are intrinsically connected to our beautiful babies, and we both work together. They work together to start this dance of labour when both are ready to go. And a lot of that is related to an amazing hormone called oxytocin, which is the hormone of love and calm and connection. And what happens with our uterus, which is contracting in labour, it starts to open up its receptors, and the oxytocin is released from our brains as pregnant women when things are ready to go. And so the receptors in our uterus are ready to receive this oxytocin to start the dance and the contractions of labour.
Wow, I love that. We need love to make a baby, and we need love to bring on a baby.
That's exactly right, Christy. That's my favourite thing. It's when you start thinking about the environment and how important that is for oxytocin to be released, it's all about thinking about love and connection, and often the way and the environment that we make love in should be very similar to the way we birth in. Having that calm, private, undisturbed time. And as mammals, they've been doing it forever. And we, as humans, are trying to get there and trying to catch up, but really being able to create the environment where we're able to let our mamas let go and our babies to release. They also release hormones into mama's bloodstream to say, I'm ready too, mum, let's do this. That is magic. That is the magic of labour.
So, Rosie, we're talking about oxytocin, and we're talking about it in the context of birth. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? So, obviously, it's something that we create. We create without intentionally necessarily creating it. We can't flick a switch ourselves. Can you talk to us a little bit more about, I guess, the impact of it and how it works?
Sure. So, I tend to help explain this to couples a bit like if you understand that it's like the petrol that has to start the engine, being the uterus and the contractions. If we don't have a rise in oxytocin, we don't have the receptors in the uterus to cause contractions, and contractions are going to help birth our baby. They will birth our baby. So being able to allow the rise, oxytocin will rise steadily once labour has started. It snowballs and snowballs and keeps going until it peaks at birth. And it also transfers to to mama's brains as well, so that they fall in love and bond with their babies when they see them. So again, as mammals, we need to feel that connection, and it's all about oxytocin, and it does increase and then helps these contractions, causes the contractions, and allows us to receive a baby in our arms.
Wow, our bodies are amazing, aren't they? There's
So
sort of
powerful.
4 main hormones that
Yeah.
are involved in that process, and oxytocin, of course, is one.
Yeah.
Endorphins are another one. Can you talk to us a little bit about their role in the birthing process?
So as oxytocin starts and causes contractions and labour progresses, our bodies help us with labour by releasing another amazing hormone, which is endorphins. And this is a naturally occurring opiate or pain reliever. So if women actually let go, listen to their body, trust the process of their own natural ability to labour and birth, once the body says, oh, babe, I think you're actually in fantastic labour, I can help you and give you some natural pain relief by releasing endorphins. So I always think oxytocin and endorphins are like best friends, and they work beautifully together to flood the body with natural opiates and natural pain relief. So trusting in your body to say, bring it on and help me, and allow that to happen, they are hugely important. Calm, blissful, relaxed hormones are going to help us labour and birth.
And give you energy, don't they? Endorphins, a bit like, poof, I'm here, I am. Come on, baby, we're ready to go.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us quite nicely to our next one, which is an adrenaline. Can you talk a little bit about adrenaline?
So as we all know, adrenaline is our fight, flight, fear response, and we need that in all our lives for different reasons. However, we do want to try and keep that low, on the low, as we're labouring, because it is our fear and stress hormone that can actually impact the progress of our labour. So when we're feeling relaxed and loved and calm and protected, we will release oxytocin and labour. The moment that we start to fear noise, fear the environment that we're in, fear that we might not be able to do it, not understand the process, that can gently cause an increased rise in adrenaline, which can actually cancel out our oxytocin. So that's why as midwives, we love saying to women, if possible, we want you to birth in an environment in your start of your labour where you feel the most safe, the most calm, the most protected and private. And a lot of the time that is at home. If they are choosing to birth in a hospital, try and stay at home as much as you possibly can to get the oxytocin snowballing, and surround yourself with everything that makes you feel loved and secure. What can sometimes happen is if women are thinking, oh, I need to go to my place of birth, and if that, as in our country, is majority in the hospital, then if we don't know where to park, we don't know where to go, we get into a birthing suite that's really busy, and we walk into a room that is full of bright white lights and machines and everything that can make us feel fearful, and we just think, I don't feel safe, then guess what our bodies do? Because as mammals, we need to protect ourselves and our young and our youth, our offspring, is to say, I can't labour here. And when that happens, we get a rise of adrenaline, which cancels down our oxytocin and shuts down our labour, and everything slows down. So the one good thing about adrenaline is as labour is progressing and birth is about to happen, there is a rise of adrenaline in both mama and baby to say, okay, we need to do this. We need to birth and meet each other, and as your little tiny baby needs to go, I need to be ready to take my first breath on the outside and survive as an offspring. So we need a little bit of the peak of that towards the top end of birthing, and then once we have that, it helps with our ejection reflex, all those good things to birth our babies, and then we're on and we're protecting our offspring. So that plays an important part. But what we want to do in the initial part of labour is really, really keep that adrenaline, that fear down, on the low down, and it will help our oxytocin.
So it's so interesting, isn't it? So parents really need to understand about these hormones and what they can do to harness them or hinder them, by the sounds of things.
Oh, absolutely. That's probably my favourite thing that I love talking about, because If you are surrounded as a pregnant woman going into labour, you're surrounded by your favourite people, the ones that you love and trust, and you know that will support you to allow you to let go, then that's going to absolutely help your oxytocin continue to rise as labour progresses. So choosing your favourite people around you is very, very important. Choosing the right environment that suits you is of utmost importance. And part of that, again, in our country, if we are birthing in a hospital, there is an opportunity to create that lovely, private, undisturbed environment in the hospital room as well. So again, by educating couples to know, how do we do this? How can I help my favourite person let go and feel loved and secure, is really creating that perfect environment for her.
Want some extra tips to help you navigate parenthood? Join a Parents You've Got This masterclass. Visit www.parentsyouvegotthis.com.au and sign up for a masterclass today.
What about prolactin, Relsie?
Yeah,
and the relationship that this has with breastfeeding as well as birth?
So prolactin is a really amazing hormone that helps us with milk production, so breast milk production. It is always present, and it does actually start to rise slowly towards the end of our gestation, so towards the time when we're due to give birth. And it's responsible for saying, oh, my baby's coming, I need to prepare to feed my baby. And also part of that is I need to prepare an environment for my baby to be born safely. So a lot of the time you might hear of women nesting, and this is all related to the prolactin hormone. So it's like, okay, I need to, as a mammal, find a place where that's clean and dry and protected and warm, and where I feel like it's going to be the right environment to birth my baby. So a lot of the time in our society, it could be that mama's at home cleaning out cupboards or wanting to change around a bookshelf or do something, but all this is so intrinsic in her hormonal dance, and it's such an important part. And of course, as it rises and as we birth, once we've birthed our beautiful baby and birthed our placenta, the role of prolactin is say, okay, now I need to feed this beautiful thing. So that's when it switches over to helping us with our breast milk production.
Wow.
So clever, isn't it? I remember scrubbing the cupboards and then Harvey came along pretty much afterwards. I think it was nature's way of saying you're not going to have time to clean that place for a really long time.
No, it does make my husband nervous too if I do start cleaning out cupboards when we're not planning another baby. He's like, what's going on here?
So Narelle, you love talking about a hormone toolkit. Can you tell us a little bit more about this idea?
Great. So I know that you will get a list of hospital things to bring, and they can be really boring things like 5 nappies and singlets. But what I want you to always remember as pregnant couples is pack a separate bag full of oxytocin for your labour. So you can bring that into the hospital, and it's full of things that can help mama find her happy bubble place. Get into the love bubble and stay there. And how do we do that? Is creating the right environment. So never ever feel silly by bringing a beautiful bag full of oxytocin goodies to set up in the environment at the place of your birth in a hospital room. And what I mean by that is I want you to speak to each other and communicate and ask mama, what makes you feel safe? What do you feel that you need around you that can really allow you to let go? Because when you let go, labour will start. So I always talk a little bit about looking what are your 5 senses and how can you say, this is what I need around me, and if I have all my favourite things, it will definitely help me stay in my love bubble of oxytocin. So firstly, I talk about what do you want to see, right? So what do you want to see around you? My favourite thing that I will say to all partners is when you get into your place of birth, if it is a hospital, turn off the hospital lights in the room. No other mammal births in a place with bright white lights and feels safe. So turn off the lights, create a dark, if mama likes it of course, which every mama does, a nice darkened room. If it is during the middle of the day, you can pull the blinds down in the birthing rooms as well. And if it's at night time, keep it all dark. And then bring in something to help the lighting make you feel happy and safe. So I'm a big fan of fairy lights. I'm a big fan of the battery-operated little candles that you can sprinkle all over the room. Salt lamps, humidifiers that have a lovely soft light, things like that. The minute that you turn off the main hospital lights and you have a room full of sparkly candles, everyone goes, ah. And what happens when we go, ah, is we relax. And that's what we want for mums. Other things might be, what do I want to see around me? Do I have other children that I miss because they're at home and I miss them? Do I have a beautiful photo of them? Do I have a lot of people want to bring photos of their fur babies, which is fine. It could be your wedding photo, and a honeymoon, a holiday where you both felt so happy, and that could be transport. If you focus on that, it could be transporting you to your favourite place of, oh, I loved that. Whoosh, off comes the oxytocin. It could be lovely affirmations. You might like to read things, just statements that keep you in your space. So anything like that for sight is going to be huge. If we then look at sound, so again, if we want women to labour well in their oxytocic state, make sure everything is softer. Yep. Everybody that speaks to you should be quiet. They should be gentle. The words that they say, how they talk to you is going to make such a huge difference to your fight or flight. If you have someone that's talking loudly, it can disturb your bubble. So no deal on that. So things like, think about the words that you would like to hear from your favourite people, you know. Talk about that beforehand so that when you're in that zone, your partner really goes, oh, I've got a list of all the things that she loves me to say. And when she hears that, she's like, oh, thank you, I love you too. Whew, off comes the oxytocin. I have to rub these love hearts. So sound is huge, and you might actually want to listen to something really lovely. So again, hospitals and birth rooms, they can be busy and clunky, and there's, you know, speakers going on outside the room. Get into your love bubble of sound. It could be a playlist that you really like. It could be you want to bring headphones in. Noise cancelling headphones can be really helpful too. Some women just want to block out everything and just say, just leave me alone. I just want to stay in my zone. Or it could be some meditation affirmations that you're listening to as well. So sound is huge. I think also when you are in a birthing room at a hospital, you want someone, if someone's coming into the room, they should knock quietly and wait for a response before walking in. We don't want mama to be constantly thinking, who's that, what's going on? You don't want her in that state of fight or flight. So sound's huge. What else? Smell. Oh, well, you know, hospitals do smell, don't they? Yeah. And there could be the lunch tray going by. It could be other smells of like medications or antiseptic and all those things that aren't natural for a labouring mama. So bring in your favourite smells. So it can be, I'm such a fan of, goes a lot to do with, you know, if you've got your husband's favourite T-shirt or your partner's favourite T-shirt and you want to just stick your face in there, smell that if that makes you feel good. You know, it could be a nice mist that feels more like lavender, smells lovely, or I don't know, any flavour or smell that you really like. Hand cream, lip balm, things like that you just go, oh my gosh, once that's on me, it puts me back in my happy place. So smells are really important.
Yeah, and so is taste. I love eating things when I was in labour. Any excuse is probably going to get vomited up in a few minutes, so let's go for it.
But yeah, I think I have had so many experiences where, for example, like a lot of people like chocolate, right? So if I've got someone a beautiful woman in labour, she might just have a little lint ball or a chocolate and she just pops it sucks on the top of her hard palate in her mouth and she's just sitting there. Oh, and that's releasing good, happy hormones. It makes her feel good. You need things that make you feel happy. So taste is good. Yeah, taste is good. What else we got? Touch. Oh, my gosh, my favourite thing. So, yeah, if you feel touched, if you feel loved and nurtured, there's different ways of touch. So even if it's just a very gentle holding a hand, you know, just, that I know he's there, I know she's there, I know someone that loves me is just there for me. Get upset when I think about it. It can just mean they've got my back. I'm safe, you know. It can be a massage. It could be a head massage, a foot massage, whatever it is that mama really makes her feel comfortable and happy and allows her that feeling and that let go feeling. Let's do it. Could be heat. It could be counter pressure, anything like that. It's like, I've got you. Everything is safe. You'll be okay. Yeah.
Well, Narelle, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of your expertise around hormones and how to harness these to give us the best birth and postpartum period.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate
And
it.
I think also it's just trust in your instincts and really just work together as a team. Surround yourself with the people that you know will love you unreservedly and allow you to let go, and you can do it.
You certainly can. And if you want some more advice on how to give birth, we run an incredible birth masterclass with Narelle Tsiros. And we have lots of podcasts on the birthing topic. So search those up in our incredible Expert Guide to Parenthood podcast library.
A huge thanks to Mistela for sponsoring this episode. Did you know that Mistela is not only for babies and children? Mistela also has a range of maternity products like the 100% certified organic Stretch Marks oil, Stretch Marks cream, and the certified organic lanolin-free nipple balm made up of 100% natural ingredients and dermatologist tested. Mistela is our family's favourite.
You've been listening to the Expert Guide to Parenthood podcast. And never forget, parents,
You've got this.
you've got this.
Join a Parents You've Got This masterclass today to be prepared, excited and educated for pregnancy, birth, baby and parenthood. Visit www.parentsyou'vegotthis.com.au and sign up for a masterclass today.
The information provided in this podcast is general in nature and is intended to support, not replace, a discussion with your doctor or healthcare professional. Parents You've Got This take no responsibility for any medical decisions made by individuals based on the information provided in this podcast.